Hello, sleepy thinkers, and welcome to Sleepy Science Teller. I'm so glad you're here tonight. This is your gentle space to unwind, to listen, and to slowly drift into calmness. Tonight, we'll explore something truly magical, yet so very quiet, the tiny workers of life. Called enzymes, they do their work silently without asking for thanks. And yet, without them, life would simply stop. Before we begin, I'd love to know where you are listening from tonight. Would you gently write in the comments your current location and the time where you are? It's always a joy to see how this little community connects across the world. And if this soft journey feels comforting to you, please consider giving this video a like. And if you haven't already, gently subscribe so you can join us again for more bedtime discoveries. When we think of life, we often imagine the grand things, the beating of the heart, the flow of blood, the rising and falling of breath. But beneath all of this, in places we cannot see with our eyes, something smaller, quieter, and far more constant is always at work. These are enzymes, tiny proteins made by living cells, so small that even the best microscopes cannot always show them clearly. Yet, without them, the orchestra of life would fall into silence. Imagine trying to light a fire without a spark. You may gather the wood, you may have the air, but the fire will not catch. Enzymes are that spark for every reaction in the living world. They are not consumed. They are not used up. They simply guide, quietly, patiently, turning the slow into the swift, turning the impossible into the effortless. To put it in the simplest way, enzymes are helpers, helpers that allow life to flow. When you blink your eyes, when you feel the gentle warmth of your body, when you drift into dreams at night, enzymes are always there, softly weaving the chemistry of life into a smooth and unbroken story. And yet they remain silent, unseen, unnoticed, but always faithful. Think of them as librarians in an endless library, each one carefully guiding a book back to its place, ensuring that nothing is lost, nothing is misplaced. Every page is turned in time. Every story continues. Enzymes are the librarians of life's chemistry. Without them, the books would remain unread, the stories unfinished. This is the wonder of enzymes, silent workers who shape every moment of existence. To understand enzymes more deeply, let's picture their form. An enzyme is a protein, and proteins are made of long chains, chains of amino acids folded and twisted into intricate shapes. These shapes are not random. They are precise like a key cut to fit a lock, and it is this shape that gives an enzyme its power. Imagine a craftsman's tool made perfectly for one job. It may look simple, but it is shaped with purpose. So, too, each enzyme has a shape crafted by evolution to fit just the right molecule at just the right time. And when the two meet, the molecule and the enzyme, something beautiful happens. A slow reaction becomes swift. A locked door quietly swings open. To make this picture softer, let's wander into a story. Picture yourself walking through a quiet meadow. The air is calm, the sun is low. You see countless flowers, but none of them bloom. They are waiting for something unseen to touch them. Now imagine a gentle wind. It moves softly across the meadow, and as it does, the flowers begin to open. One by one in perfect time, the flowers are the molecules. The wind is the enzyme. Without that soft breeze, the flowers would stay closed. But with it, they open and life unfolds. This is how enzymes bring stillness to motion, not by force, but by subtle guidance. Science tells us that enzymes can speed up reactions, not by twice, not by 10 times, but by millions, even billions of times. That is the silent power hidden within their shapes. So every sip of water you drink, every breath you take, every dream you drift into is gently guided by the silent precision of enzymes. Now let's step back and look at the bigger picture. Enzymes are not new. They have been here since the first stirrings of life. Billions of years ago, when the earth was young, in the warmth of ancient oceans, where molecules collided aimlessly, life needed a guide, a gentle hand. And so, enzymes were born. They were simpler than not the intricate proteins we know today, but still they held the same role, helping reactions happen, helping life to rise from stillness. As life grew more complex, enzymes grew with it, adapting, changing, until they became the vast family we know today. Thousands upon thousands of them, each with its own quiet task, from the first cell of a leaf to the beating heart of a whale, from the smallest bacteria to the dreaming mind of a human. Enzymes are everywhere, timeless companions carrying life forward. Think for a moment of your own body, trillions of cells, and within each cell, countless enzymes, working without pause, without complaint, never stopping, never resting. You may close your eyes tonight. You may drift into sleep. But within you, enzymes remain awake, silent guardians, continuing their work, so that when you rise again, your life flows on. And all of this happens without noise, without fanfare. A quiet beauty, a hidden grace. This is what enzymes are. Not loud, not grand, but essential. The silent helpers of all living things. When we look at the living world, we see movement. We see growth, we see change. The flutter of a bird's wings, the blooming of a flower, the steady beating of our hearts. But underneath all of these visible things lies a quiet foundation, a hidden system that makes everything possible. Enzymes, they are not just helpers of life. They are the reason life can exist at all. Without enzymes, the reactions inside us would move far too slowly. The food we eat would never truly break down into energy. The air we breathe would not nourish our blood. The signals in our brain would remain quiet and never form thoughts. Imagine trying to cross an endless desert step by step with no shade and no water. It would take lifetimes to reach the other side. This is what chemical reactions are like without enzymes. Slow, endless, almost impossible. Now, picture a gentle guide, someone who knows the paths, who builds bridges, who shortens the way. That is what enzymes do. They turn lifetimes of waiting into moments of living. Scientists have studied this with awe. They've measured reactions that would take millions of years to happen on their own. But when touched by an enzyme, they happen in less than a second. This is not just a convenience. It is the very difference between stillness and life. And so, when we ask why enzymes matter, the answer is simple. Without them, life would be frozen. A canvas without a painting, a melody without sound. They matter because they are the rhythm of existence itself. Let's bring this closer into the rhythm of your own body. At this very moment, as you listen, enzymes are at work. They are breaking down the food you ate today, turning it into the sugars, the proteins, the tiny building blocks that your cells need. They are helping your muscles release energy so you can sit or lie or simply breathe with ease. They are guiding your nerves, helping one thought softly connect to another, allowing you to remember, to dream, to rest. It is easy to think of life as something grand, but in truth, it is made of countless small reactions, each one guided by enzymes. Think of a candle flame. It looks simple, quiet, steady, but within it, countless sparks are flickering, tiny bursts of energy feeding the glow. Your life is the same. The flame is steady, but only because the enzymes keep sparking within you, quiet, hidden but essential. Without them, the flame would go out, and everything we call living would fade into silence. Here is a gentle story. Imagine a village where the people must carry water from a faraway river. The path is long and many never return. The fields are dry, the people are weak, but then a system of wells and channels is built. Water flows easily, reaching every home. The fields turn green, the people thrive. Enzymes are those wells and channels. Without them, the effort is endless. With them, life flourishes. They matter not only because they help, but because they transform the impossible into the ordinary. They make life effortless. There is another reason enzymes matter so deeply. They are not only helpers, they are keepers of balance. Life is delicate. It depends on harmony, on reactions happening not too fast, not too slow, always just right. Enzymes are the quiet guardians of this harmony. They know when to begin, when to pause, when to stop. They keep every process in balance, so that chaos does not take over. Think of an orchestra with many instruments, each playing its part. If one plays too fast or another too slow, the music falls apart. But with a conductor, everything stays in rhythm. The music flows. Enzymes are conductors of life's orchestra. They keep the tempo steady, ensuring that every part of the body, every cell, plays in time, even in the smallest bacteria, even in the tallest trees, even in you as you rest tonight. Enzymes are quietly keeping balance. They matter because they protect a fragile line between life and non-life, between order and stillness. And perhaps the most beautiful thing of all is that they ask for nothing. They do their work in silence, without applause, without thanks, just quiet, steady presence. So when we say, why do enzymes matter? The answer is this: they are the invisible foundation of life, the hidden spark of every heartbeat, the conductor of every living rhythm, the keepers of balance in a world that would otherwise fall into stillness. Life is built from reactions, tiny changes that turn one molecule into another, slowly shaping energy, growth, thought, and rest. But without enzymes, these reactions would move at a glacial pace. Some would take hours, others years, and many would take longer than the lifetime of the universe itself. Imagine holding a block of ice, waiting for it to melt in a room colder than winter. You could wait forever, and the ice would never change. That is what many chemical reactions are like. Silent possible, but far too slow. Now, let's soften this thought with a little picture. Imagine a clock, ticking only once every 1,000 years. You sit beside it, listening, but you will never hear the next tick. Your children will never hear it. The generations after them, still waiting. The clock moves, but so slowly it feels frozen. This is the pace of many natural reactions without enzymes. They are not impossible, but they are so slow that life could not use them. Enzymes change everything. They take that frozen clock and let it tick in seconds. They melt the ice with a single touch of warmth. They bring still chemistry into the rhythm of life. When scientists first measured this, they were astonished. They found reactions that would take millions of years. But with enzymes, they happen in less than a heartbeat. This was not just faster. It was a transformation of time itself. And so, enzymes are not only helpers of reactions, they are keepers of speed, turning the impossible pace into the perfect tempo. Let us step into the body, into the quiet chemistry that flows within you. Think of the simple act of eating bread. Without enzymes, the starches in that bread will remain unchanged. Your body could not break them apart, could not use them for energy. You would eat and yet gain nothing. But with enzymes, the bread is quickly transformed. Starches become sugars. Sugars become energy. Energy becomes thought, movement, dreams. What would take days or years on its own happens in minutes because enzymes speed the way. Let's soften this with a story. Picture a great mountain pass. On one side, travelers wait, their wagons full, their horses tired. They must cross the mountain to reach the fertile valleys beyond. But the path is steep, endless, impossible. Many turn back, and the valleys remain empty. Now imagine a tunnel is carved through the mountain, smooth, direct, safe. The wagons roll easily. The valley fills with life. Enzymes are those tunnels. They do not change the destination. They do not alter the travelers. They simply make the journey swift. And by doing so, they bring life to places it could never reach before. This is why enzymes matter, not only because they allow reactions to happen, but because they make them happen at the right speed. Not too slow, not too fast. Always just in time, in every heartbeat. Enzymes accelerate the flow of blood. In every breath, they speed the exchange of gases. In every thought, they quicken the sparks of the mind. And in every dream, they guide the chemistry of rest. Without their acceleration, life would stall, but with it, life flows with ease. Speed alone is not enough. For life to exist, reactions must happen not only fast, but at the right time. Too soon, and the body would fall into chaos. Too late, and life would fade away. Enzymes hold this balance. They are not just accelerators. They are timekeepers. Think of a gentle symphony. Each instrument plays its part. The violins rise, the flutes follow. The drums keep the rhythm steady. If one plays too quickly or another too slow, the music shatters. But when every note comes at the right moment, the music is whole. Enzymes are conductors of this symphony of life. They do not play the music themselves, but they guide every note, every pause, every swell, so that the melody continues without end. Here is a softer image. Picture rain falling into a garden. If the rain comes too late, the flowers will wither. If it comes too soon, the soil will wash away. But if the rain comes in rhythm, in balance, the garden blooms. The timing is everything. So too with enzymes. They bring reactions not just into motion, but into perfect timing. The right pace, the right moment, the right flow. And the beauty is, we do not feel it. We do not hear the ticking of these clocks inside us. We simply live as if the chemistry of life were effortless. But beneath the stillness of your resting body tonight, a storm of reactions is moving. billions upon billions every second, and all of them kept swift and steady by enzymes. They are the silent keepers of speed, the guardians of rhythm, the poetry of perfect timing. And so, when we ask about the speed of reactions, the truth is simple. Without enzymes, life would wait forever. With them, life flows in moments, gentle, constant, perfectly timed. When we think of enzymes, we may picture them as helpers. But what makes them so special is not just their presence. It is their shape, their perfect ability to fit. Long ago, scientists wondered, how could one enzyme know just the right molecule? Out of millions swirling the body, the answer is the lock and key idea. Imagine a key cut with care. It will not open just any lock. It opens only one, because the ridges, the teeth, the curves match perfectly. So too, enzymes are locks. And the molecules they guide are keys. Only the right key can slip into place. And when it does, the reaction begins. Think for a moment of your own life. How many times has a door opened only because you had the right key in your hand, perhaps to your home or to a garden gate? The moment of turning that key feels simple, yet behind it lies safety, comfort, belonging. This is the quiet magic of enzymes. They only open the doors that are meant to be opened. They keep the chemistry of life in order, guiding molecules into the right pathways, preventing chaos, creating harmony. Without this perfect fit, molecules would wander endlessly, colliding, missing, waiting. But with enzymes, each one finds its match, and life flows forward. The lock and key idea is not only science, it is a gentle metaphor for life itself, that everything has its place, every moment has its fit, and when a match is found, things unfold with ease. Let's step softly into your body and watch this lock and key idea at work. Take the enzyme amylase. It lives in your saliva. The moment you take a bite of bread, amylase meets the starch inside it. The two fit together like a key sliding into a lock. And suddenly, the starch begins to break apart. Long chains of carbohydrates split into sweet sugars. The bread begins its transformation into energy for life. Or think of lactase, an enzyme that fits perfectly with lactose, the sugar in milk. For most people, lactase is present and the key turns easily. Milk is digested with no trouble, but if the enzyme is missing, the key cannot turn. The lock stays closed, and the body struggles, reminding us how vital this perfect fit truly is. Every enzyme has its story. Protease fits with proteins, lipase with fats, each one waiting patiently for its key. And once the fit is made, the reaction flows like water through an open gate. Now, picture this through a gentle story. Imagine a great hall lined with doors. Each door has its own lock. Behind one lies light, behind another warmth, behind another nourishment. Travelers come carrying countless keys. They try one and it does not fit. They try another, still closed. But then the right key slides and the door opens, and what is needed flows forth. This is the body's chemistry. An endless hall of doors, an endless supply of locks and keys, and enzymes are the guardians, ensuring only the right doors open at the right time. It is a picture both scientific and soothing, a reminder of the quiet order hidden in every breath, every heartbeat, every dream. Over time, scientists have found that the lock and key idea is not always as rigid as it first seemed. Sometimes the lock itself is gentle, flexible. It shifts its shape slightly as the key approaches, welcoming it in with a soft embrace. This is called the induced fit model, where the enzyme does not sit stiffly waiting, but instead bends with kindness, making room for the molecule it guides. Isn't that a beautiful thought? That even at the smallest scale of life, there's a kind of gentleness, a willingness to adapt, a lock that adjusts to welcome its key. It reminds us of relationships, of trust, of the ways we sometimes bend to meet those we care for, not rigid, not fixed, but soft and understanding. In this way, enzymes are not only strict locks, they are also living doors, capable of opening wider, of changing shape, of ensuring the right key always finds its way. And so, the lock and key idea becomes more than just science. It becomes a quiet lesson that life is not chaos. It is a world of fits and matches, of doors opening in silence, of keys finding their locks in perfect time. So tonight, as you rest, know that within you, countless locks and keys are turning. Doors are opening quietly, gently, and the chemistry of life is flowing forward, because enzymes are keeping every key in place. Every day, when we eat, we begin a quiet story inside the body, a story of transformation, from food on the plate to energy in the cell. At the heart of this story are enzymes, silent helpers guiding each step, ensuring that the food we take in becomes part of us. Digestion begins the moment food touches your lips. Even before you swallow, enzymes are waiting. In your saliva, there is amylase, an enzyme that greets starches, the long chains of sugar in bread, rice, or pasta. With gentle precision, it begins breaking them down, turning heavy starch into lighter, sweeter sugars. If you hold bread in your mouth long enough, you can taste the sweetness emerge. That is amylase at work, quietly and faithfully. This is a first sign that digestion is not brute force. It is not fire or grinding gears. It is a soft unfolding, a process guided by invisible hands. As food travels down into the stomach, more enzymes awaken. Proteases, enzymes that break apart proteins. They find the strands of meat, beans, or nuts and gently cut them into smaller chains, like scissors moving through threads. Each cut making the protein easier to handle, easier to use. The stomach is not just acid, it is a workshop of enzymes, where food begins to lose its heaviness and turn into something the body can shape. Think of a sculptor facing a great block of stone. At first it seems unmovable, but with careful chisels, the stone begins to soften, its hidden form revealed. This is what enzymes do with food. They take the solid, the unshaped, and slowly carve it into something life can use. And all of this happens quietly as you sit, as you rest, as you dream. Your enzymes are sculpting, turning your meals into strength. After the stomach, food moves on into the winding path of the intestines. Here, digestion becomes even more delicate, and enzymes take center stage. The pancreas, a soft organ tucked beneath the stomach, releases its enzymes. Amylases to continue breaking down starch. Lipases to split fats into glycerol and fatty acids. Proteases to finish what began in the stomach. Each enzyme, like an artisan with its own craft, together creating harmony. Picture a workshop where carpenters, painters, and potters work side by side, each focused on their task. each adding their touch to the whole. This is the intestine, a place where enzymes work in unity, each one knowing its part, each one transforming food into its smallest pieces. Fats, once stubborn and heavy, are split into droplets. Proteins, once long and tangled, become simple amino acids. Starches, once dense and complex, turn into glucose, sweet and ready for energy. The walls of the intestine are like open hands. They take these small pieces in, carrying them into the blood, delivering them to every corner of the body. And none of this would be possible without enzymes. Without them, the food would remain too large, too locked, too distant. But with enzymes, every bite becomes part of you. Your muscles, your skin, even your dreams, all nourished by the soft, unseen work of digestion. Here's a story to soften the picture. Imagine a river flowing through a fertile valley. The water is full of stones, branches, and mud. The farmers cannot drink it. The plants cannot use it. But then workers appear along the river. They filter the water, clearing away the stones, cutting the branches, sifting the mud. And soon the water runs clear, ready to feed the land, ready to bring life. Enzymes are those workers along the river digestion. They purify, they prepare, they transform, so that the flow of nutrients can reach every part of you. Without them, the river would stay clogged. The fields would remain dry. But with them, the land blooms, and you find strength. Let's pause and reflect on what digestion means. It is not only about food becoming energy. It is about connection. The world outside becoming part of the world within. The apple on a tree, the grain in a field, the fish in the sea. Through enzymes, they all become part of you. Their energy flows into your blood. Their building blocks weave into your cells. Their essence becomes your breath, your movement, your thought. Enzymes are the bridge. Without them, the food would remain distant. The apple would stay apple, the grain would stay grain. And you would remain hungry no matter how much you ate. But with enzymes, the boundary dissolves. The world outside merges with your inner life, and you are nourished. Think of enzymes as gentle translators. They take the language of food and turn it into the language of life. They make sure nothing is lost, that every bite carries meaning, that every meal becomes a story within you. And as you rest tonight, they continue their work, silently, steadily, without pause, breaking, shaping, transforming, so that when morning comes, your body is renewed, filled with the quiet gifts of digestion. Enzymes and digestion remind us of something profound. That nourishment is not loud. It is quiet, unseen, steady. It is a soft river flowing through us all, carried by silent helpers, who ask for nothing, yet give us everything. And so, enzymes and digestion are not only workers, they are caretakers. They are nourishers. They are the gentle hands that turn food into life. Every cell in your body is like a tiny universe. Inside, there are countless activities, movements, exchanges of energy, and at the heart of all these activities stand enzymes. Cells might seem quiet when seen under a microscope, just small, round shapes floating in their environment. But inside, they are buzzing alive with countless processes. Proteins being built, sugars being broken down, energy being released. And none of this would be possible without enzymes. Enzymes act as the workers of the cell, the craftsmen and caretakers. the guides that make sure each reaction happens at the right time and the right way. Let's imagine a great city. Inside the city, there are builders, bakers, doctors, and teachers, each person with a role, each person keeping the city alive. In the same way, enzymes keep the city of the cell alive. One enzyme helps build DNA. Another helps repair damage. Another makes sure energy is released from sugar. And another helps store that energy for later. Without enzymes, the city would fall silent. The builders would not build. The bakers would not bake. The energy would not flow. But with enzymes, life within the cell is smooth, precise, and balanced. Like a city that never sleeps, always alive, always cared for. And yet, all of this happens in silence. You cannot feel it. You cannot hear it. But as you rest, every one of your trillions of cells is busy. It's enzymes working quietly, faithfully, keeping you alive. Inside a cell, reactions could, in theory, happen on their own, but they would be so slow, so unhelpful, that life could never exist. For example, glucose, the simple sugar, contains energy, but if you place it in water, it would sit unchanged for years. It would never release its energy, never give its gift to life. Enzymes change this. They lower the barriers. They make the impossible possible. They take what would take years and make it happen in seconds. Enzymes are like timekeepers. They keep life on schedule. They make sure reactions happen at the speed needed for survival. Imagine if you needed to bake bread, but every step took a century. Mixing a century. Rising a century. Baking another century. No one could survive on such bread. Life would end before the loaf was ready. This is what life would be without enzymes. Processes too slow, too late, too impossible. But with enzymes, the bread rises in hours. The reactions in cells happen in moments. Life can continue, grow, and flourish. This makes enzymes the guardians of time inside the cell. They set the pace. They make sure life is not too slow and not too fast. They keep the rhythm of existence steady. Picture a great orchestra. Without a conductor, the players would drift, notes would clash, the music would collapse. But with a conductor, each instrument joins a harmony. The music flows with perfect timing. Enzymes are those conductors, directing the orchestra of chemical reactions, ensuring harmony within the cell and harmony within you. Let's travel deeper into the life of a single cell. Imagine a small bubble filled with structures like tiny rooms. The nucleus, where DNA rests like a library of instructions. The mitochondria, glowing like little furnaces of energy. The ribosomes, like quiet factories building proteins. In every corner, enzymes are at work. In the nucleus, enzymes read DNA. They copy its code and help repair it when it breaks. Without them, the library would gather dust, its wisdom locked away. But with them, the knowledge of life flows freely. Copied, used, shared. In the mitochondria, enzymes run cycles of reactions. One enzyme passes energy to the next, like runners in a relay race, each carrying the baton of life. Until at last, energy is captured in ADP, the small packets that fuel every move, every thought, every breath. In the ribosomes, enzymes join amino acids, one after another, like pearls on a string, building the proteins that shape your muscles, your skin, your blood. Everywhere you look, enzymes are dancing, moving with precision, never colliding, never confused, each knowing its task, each shaping life from silence, Think of a meadow at night. The fireflies glow here and there from a distance. It seems random, but step closer, and you notice a rhythm, a quiet harmony in their lights. Enzymes are like those fireflies, seemingly countless scattered across the cell, yet moving in harmony, forming a dance that sustains life. As you drift toward restonite, know this, that within you in every cell, enzymes are still dancing, silent, tireless, eternal, keeping you alive, keeping you whole. Enzymes, though strong in their purpose, are delicate in their nature. They are like musicians who can only play in the right setting. If the stage is too hot or too cold, the music falters. If the air is too sharp or too gentle, the harmony slips away. Every enzyme has its own comfort zone, a range of temperature and a level of acidity called pH. Within this range, the enzyme moves easily, binding to its partner molecules, helping reactions unfold. Outside of it, the enzyme weakens, slows, or even stops. Think of yourself trying to sleep. If the room is too hot, you toss and turn. If it is too cold, you shiver awake. But when the temperature is just right, sleep flows softly. This is how enzymes feel, balance between warmth and coolness, acidity and calm. In the human body, most enzymes love the gentle warmth of 37 degrees Celsius, the quiet heat of a living body, not too hot, not too cold, just steady, life-sustaining. But not all enzymes live within us. Some are found in hot springs where boiling waters flow. Their enzymes adapted to fire, thriving where human enzymes would unravel. Others live in the icy oceans, surviving in cold so sharp it would freeze our blood. These enzymes whisper to us that life is adaptable, that even in extremes, balance can be found. And so, the story of enzymes is the story of balance, of finding the middle ground, of living in harmony with the environment. Let us step closer into the science of this balance. Enzymes are made of proteins, and proteins are long chains of amino acids folded into delicate shapes. This shape is everything. It is what allows an enzyme to lock onto its partner molecule. It is what gives the enzyme its power. But shape is fragile. Too much heat, and the shape begins to unravel. The folds loosen, the structure falls apart. The enzyme loses its grip, like a key that no longer fits the lock. This is called denaturation, a quiet unraveling where an enzyme loses its form. And without its form, it loses its function. Acidity or pH can do the same. Each fold of a protein is held in place by tiny charges, positive and negative, pulling against each other. When the pH changes, those charges shift. The balance breaks. The enzyme reshapes, and sometimes it can no longer work. It is like a delicate bridge held together by ropes and beams. If the ropes loosen, the beams fall, and the bridge cannot carry travelers anymore. But within their right balance, enzymes are steady, strong, reliable. They keep life moving with quiet confidence. A gentle example is found in digestion. The stomach is highly acidic, with a pH of around 2. Yet enzymes here, like pepsin, thrive in this sharpness. They are shaped to survive it. And without them, proteins could never be broken down in the stomach. But in the small intestine, the pH is closer to neutral, around 7. And here, other enzymes awaken. Lipases, amylases, proteases, all designed for this gentler setting. Each enzyme belongs to its place, each one tuned to its perfect environment. It is as if the body holds different rooms, each room with its own light, its own temperature, its own air. And in each room, the right enzyme enters, ready to do its work. The story of temperature and pH in enzymes is more than science. It is also a lesson in balance, a whisper from nature about the importance of harmony. Too much heat and life falters. Too much acidity and balance breaks. But in the right conditions, life flows smoothly, effortlessly, quietly. We can see this wisdom reflected everywhere. In a candle flame that warms but does not burn. In a river that flows steadily but does not flood. In a breeze that cools but does not freeze. And so it is with enzymes. They teach us that life is not about extremes. It is about balance, about finding the quiet middle ground where everything works as it should. Even within us, our body protects this balance, keeping temperature steady, keeping pH in each organ at its right level. The blood remains near neutral. The stomach remains acidic. The skin holds its own gentle balance. Each part of us carrying its own harmony so that enzymes may do their silent work. And as you rest tonight, your body is still holding this balance. Your warmth steady, your chemistry calm, enzymes quietly moving in their perfect ranges, transforming, building, repairing, without noise, without fuss, just silence and harmony. Enzymes remind us that strength is not always in power. Sometimes it is in balance. Sometimes it is in gentleness. Sometimes it is in being just right. And so, temperature and pH are not enemies to enzymes. They are companions, partners in the dance of life, guiding enzymes to move with grace, and keeping the music of existence alive. Enzymes, though silent and unseen, are all around us. They are not only in our bodies, but also in the world we touch every day, especially in the foods we love. When you bite into ripe fruit and taste its sweetness, that sweetness is a gift of enzymes. Inside the fruit, as it ripens, enzymes break down starch, turning it into sugar. The hard, starchy banana becomes soft, golden, and sweet. The tart apple becomes mellow and juicy. This is the gentle artistry of enzymes. They soften fruit, deepen flavors, and bring ripeness to life. In bread making, too, enzymes play their role. The yeast we add to flour and water releases enzymes, amylases that cut starch into sugar, so the yeast can feed and release carbon dioxide. The bubbles rise, the dough lifts, and the loaf becomes airy, tender, alive. Cheese making is another story of enzymes. Rennet, an ancient enzyme, curdles milk, turning liquid into soft curds and whey. From this gentle separation, all the world's cheeses are born, from the creamy softness of brie, to the aged sharpness of cheddar, to the crystalline crunch of Parmesan, each one shaped by the silent hands of enzymes. Even in brewing, whether beer or wine, enzymes are there. Barley grains release enzymes to convert starch into sugar. Yeast consumes this sugar and alcohol forms. The taste of hops, the richness of malt, the sparkle of fermentation, all guided by enzymes. So many of the foods we cherish, bread, fruit, cheese, wine, are shaped not only by human hands, but by enzyme hands, quietly working in the background, turning the ordinary into something full of life and flavor. Beyond the kitchen, enzymes follow us into daily life. They are in places you may never have thought to look. Consider laundry. When you wash clothes with modern detergents, You are also washing with enzymes. Proteases cut away protein stains from grass or blood. Amylases break down starch stains. Lipases dissolve greasy marks. Cellulases brighten cotton, keeping fabric soft and fresh. Each enzyme, a silent cleaner, lifting dirt that water alone could never move, and all of this without the harshness of heavy scrubbing. Enzymes clean gently, precisely, silently. In papermaking, too, enzymes help. They break down fibers, soften pulps, reduce the need for strong chemicals, making the process kinder to the earth. Even in biofuels, enzymes step in, breaking plant material into sugars, so that those sugars can be turned into energy. Enzymes help us transform crops and waste into fuel, giving us cleaner alternatives for the future. And in the world of textiles, enzymes prepare fabrics. They polish denim, soften cotton, create finishes that would be rough or dull without them. When you feel the smoothness of a favorite shirt or see the gentle fade of your jeans, you are touching the subtle work of enzymes. So you see, even in tasks as ordinary as washing clothes, or holding a notebook, or putting on your favorite jacket, enzymes are there, quietly shaping the textures and comforts of everyday life. Now let us step outside into the natural world and notice how enzymes are woven into the quiet cycles of life. In the forest, when leaves fall, they do not remain forever on the ground. They soften, crumble, and vanish into the soil. This is not magic, but enzymes released by fungi and bacteria, breaking down cellulose and lignin, turning once tall trees into nourishment for the earth. In the oceans, tiny plankton release enzymes, helping recycle nutrients, so the vast waters remain alive with endless schools of fish, endless forests of kelp, endless cycles of breath. Even in the soil beneath your feet, enzymes work, breaking organic matter into nutrients, nutrients that roots can take up, so plants may grow, so fields may yield, so life may continue. Enzymes are not only inside living beings, they are part of the great recycling system of Earth itself. They make sure nothing is wasted, that every fallen leaf, every grain of pollen, every piece of life that ends becomes food for something new. And so the presence of enzymes around us is both ordinary and extraordinary. They are in our kitchens, in our laundry rooms, in our gardens, in the forests and oceans. They are in every corner of life's story, working silently, endlessly, patiently. When we pause to notice them, we see that our world is not held together by grand events, but by countless quiet helpers, each one shaping life with gentle precision. And as you close your eyes tonight, you might feel comfort in this thought, that you are surrounded always by invisible helpers, enzymes that ripen fruit, clean clothes, recycle forests, nourish oceans, silent companions, carrying life forward everywhere, all the time. In the story of life, enzymes are not only workers of digestion or silent dancers inside cells. They are also healers, quiet partners in medicine, guiding us toward health and easing suffering. For centuries, healers noticed that natural substances sometimes aided recovery. Long before the word enzyme was known, people used papaya and pineapple, fruits that contain proteolytic enzymes, enzymes that break down proteins. These fruits were given to help wounds heal faster, to soothe inflammation. Though people did not know the science, they felt the healing touch of enzymes. Today, we understand more. Enzymes can reduce swelling, calm pain, and aid recovery after injury. Proteases like bromelain from pineapple and papain from papaya are used in modern supplements. They soften tissues gently and help the body clear away damaged proteins, making room for healing. Other enzymes help with blood flow. For example, streptokinase and urokinase are used in emergencies when blood clots block vessels. These enzymes act quickly, dissolving clots, open the way for blood to flow freely again. In moments when every second matters, enzymes become lifesavers. There are also enzymes that help in digestion itself. For people whose own enzymes are weak, doctors provide replacements. Lactase, for those who cannot digest milk sugar. Lipase and protease, for those with pancreatic insufficiency. These replacements give back what the body lacks, allowing people to eat, to nourish, to live more comfortably. Enzymes always silent, always invisible. Yet here in medicine, they become visible as healers, as gentle allies of doctors and patients, helping the body restore its balance. Enzymes not only heal, they also reveal, helping us see what is hidden inside the body. In modern medicine, enzymes are tools of diagnosis. They act as markers, signals that whisper to doctors where the body may be struggling. When the liver is damaged, enzymes like alt and AST rise in the blood. When the heart is injured, enzymes like troponin appear. When muscles are strained, creatine kinase increases. Each enzyme, a messenger, telling the story of the body without words. Doctors listen to these whispers, measuring enzyme levels to understand health, to catch disease early, to guide treatment gently. But enzymes also help in laboratory work. In tests and research, enzymes allow us to copy DNA through a process called PCR. Polymerase enzymes replicate strands of genetic code billions of times over, so scientists can study them, identify viruses, trace ancestry, even solve crimes. Think of PCR as a quiet photocopier of life's book. Each page copied not by hand, but by enzymes, each letter preserved perfectly, so the story of DNA can be read, shared, and understood. Without enzymes, this would be impossible. The genetic code would remain locked, its secrets hidden away. But with enzymes, the lock opens, the code is revealed, and medicine steps forward. So, enzymes are not only healers, they are also guides and storytellers. They allow us to see deeper, understand better, and care more wisely. The story of enzymes in medicine is not finished. It is still unfolding like a book being written. Scientists today are exploring new ways to use enzymes. Some are designing enzyme therapies for cancer, enzymes that can break down the protective barriers around tumors, so medicines can reach them more easily. Others are shaping enzymes that can fight infections, cutting apart bacterial walls, and helping the body clear away invaders. There is also hope in genetic medicine, where enzymes like CRISPR-associated proteins act as editors, snipping DNA at precise places, allowing scientists to correct mutations, to repair broken genes, to write healthier futures. Imagine an editor carefully adjusting words in a book. One letter here, one sentence there, shaping the story into something clearer, more true. This is what enzyme editors do for DNA, shaping the book of life itself. Even in the realm of aging, enzymes are being studied. Some researchers hope to design enzymes that repair cellular damage, that clear away waste, that keeps cells younger, longer, the dream of slowing time whispered through enzymes. And so, enzymes and medicine are both present and future. Today, they help us heal wounds, dissolve clots, aid digestion, and diagnose illness. Tomorrow, they may repair our genes, fight our cancers, extend our years, all silently, gently, faithfully. When we think of medicine, we often imagine strong pills, loud machines, sharp instruments. But beneath it all are these tiny helpers, enzymes moving invisibly, shaping health, guiding us toward balance, toward life. And as you rest tonight, you might feel comfort in knowing that even the future of healing rests not in noise, but in silence, not in force, but in the quiet precision of enzymes. Enzymes are not loud. They do not glow like stars. They do not roar like oceans. They move in silence, unnoticed. Yet within their stillness lies a beauty beyond measure. Every moment of your life, enzymes are present, helping food become energy, helping cells repair themselves, helping thoughts form in the brain. They do not demand recognition. They do not ask for reward. They simply do their work, quietly, faithfully. This is their beauty, that they shape all of life without ever asking to be seen. Think of a clock. Its hands move gracefully across the face, but behind them, tiny gears turn. Invisible, hidden. Without them, the hands would never move. Enzymes are those gears, hidden, silent, yet absolutely essential. There is beauty in this humility, in the way enzymes exist only to serve life, never boasting, never faltering, just continuing endlessly. And when we pause to reflect, we may see that much of life's beauty is like this, quiet, unseen, yet deeply essential, like the roots beneath a tree, or the heartbeat within the chest, or the breath that moves in and out softly, without thought. Enzymes remind us that not all beauty is meant to be seen. Some beauty is meant to be felt, to be trusted, to be lived. If we step back and look not only at ourselves, but the whole of nature, we see enzymes everywhere, in forests and rivers, in oceans, in the very soil beneath our feet. Leaves fall, wood decays, creatures pass away, and yet nothing is wasted. Everything is recycled, reborn, renewed. This cycle is guided by enzymes. Fungi releasing enzymes to dissolve fallen trees. Bacteria sending enzymes into the earth to free nutrients. Plants using enzymes to capture sunlight. And animals depending on enzymes to turn food into life. All of this is one great harmony, a web of balance, where enzymes play quietly in every corner, making sure the circle of life never breaks. Picture a great orchestra of the world, the winds, the strings, the drums, all playing together. You do not see the conductor, but you feel their presence in the harmony. Enzymes are like that conductor, silent, unseen, yet guiding the music of existence. There is beauty in this connectedness, that the same enzymes ripening fruit on a branch are kin to the ones healing wounds in your body, that the enzymes recycling leaves in the forest are cousins to the ones helping your cells breathe. It is as though the whole world shares one quiet language, a language of transformation, spoken in silence, yet understood by every living thing. And when you notice this, you see the beauty of enzymes not just in science, but in the poetry of life itself. At the end of this journey, let us reflect once more. Enzymes are not only molecules, They are symbols of grace, of quiet power, of the strength that lives in gentleness. In a world that often values the loud, the fast, the forceful, enzymes remind us of another way. That life can be built not with noise, but with stillness, not with force, but with precision, not with shouting, but with whispers. Enzymes show us that the most important things, maybe the least visible, the unseen helpers, the silent supporters, the gentle guides that hold life together. And so, there is beauty in their humility. There is beauty in their constancy. There is beauty in their silence. As you rest tonight, know that within you, enzymes are still at work, quietly, tirelessly, lovingly, caring for you without asking, holding you steady without pause. They're like guardians of life, invisible, yet always present, always guiding, always protecting, always giving. And as you breathe softly now, perhaps you can carry their lesson into your dreams. The lesson that life's true beauty is often quiet, unseen, and endlessly graceful. And with this thought, let me gently close this journey with you. May your night be filled with peace. May your body find rest. And may your dreams be calm, like the silent work of enzymes. Good night and goodbye.